Oh well. That's my new exercise video. I'm gonna do 3 to 4 reps. Just depends on how much of those I can stand. Come on, get off there, bastard. Yeah. What? Okay. Well, truck stop girl, why you fooling that truck stop girl? All right. Well, kiss my goddamn ass. That's part of my healing process. I'm 72 years old, but Christmas morning, God healed my shoulders. They've been hurting me for 4 years. And God healed my shoulders and told me to release the anger I was holding inside and just turn loose everything and let it go. I told him, okay, Lord, I will. And I did. And I was happy all day long. And then that night, Christmas night, my friend, used to be my neighbor in my old house, called me. She was in the hospital. She had COVID, the virus. And she'd been in intensive care for 9 days. And she told me that at one point she stopped breathing. And she could barely speak. She was calling me to tell me this, and she could barely talk. And she told me that when she stopped breathing, she saw my mother. My mother had been dead for 15 years. And her mother gave her a message and told her to come back and give me that message. And that message was, be patient, son, be happy, I'm coming for you. So, this is what I'm doing in order to occupy my mind and my body until my mother comes to get me and take me home to heaven. I come from beyond this earth. Not me. I've lived here all my life. But there is another consciousness that's living inside me right now, right at this moment. And it's telling me what to say, and it tells me what to do, and it tells me how to act, and it tells me who to forgive and who to forget, and it tells me all these things. And it tells me to pray, and it tells me to love my neighbor as myself, and it tells me to be the best person I know how to be until my mother gets here to take me home. So that's what I'm trying to do. I used to lift weights all the time. I used to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I had muscles bulging. But 20 years of sedentary life, taking care of old people, kind of takes that out of you. But I don't do that anymore. Now I live by myself, and I spend my time talking to myself. And when I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to my God, because nobody else will speak to me. You hear what I'm saying? Nobody will answer my calls. Nobody will answer my emails. Nobody will answer my text messages. Everybody has shut me off from the whole world. So, I am an island. I am what I am. Deal with it. But this is how I deal with it. Well, truck stop girl, and I'm not the devil. You think that I am? Ain't no excuse, but I'm just a man. Well, I slipped and I fell, it got out of hand. But I'm not the devil you think that I am. No, I'm not the devil you think that I am. I sang like that. I know I can't sing. I know my voice is pretty rough and I don't have a voice to entertain anybody, but it helps me to keep my mind off what I'm doing, you know, so that I don't sit there and go, oh, no. No, I got that melody going in my head, so I'm able to not focus on the burn, you know. I just let it flow until the blood starts pounding in my head. Because I used to have high blood pressure. I don't think I do anymore. I quit taking any kind of medicine. I'm stone cold and sober. I take no medications. I'm 72 years old. I'm overweight because I've been stuck in my apartment for a year with COVID. Right now I'm in the process of trying to hire an attorney because there's several people I want to make face the music for what they've stolen from me and what they've taken from me and what they refused to pay me back when I was generous enough to loan to them, and what they took from me when my back was turned and when I was locked up. In 2017, I was taken into custody 9 separate occasions from May the 8th until January the 2nd of 2018. I endured 9 incarcerations, twice in Dallas County Jail. I was arrested in Seagoville, Texas at Walmart on a shoplifting charge, which was bullshit. I just didn't have my wallet. And I forgot I didn't have my wallet, so I wound up with a shoplifting charge, which turned into 2 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer. Because I defended myself when they came in my cell and tried to beat me down, and they did. They beat me to hell. Well, next morning, Dallas County officers came to pick me up. All I had was a pair of blue jeans. I didn't have shoes. They took my boots away. I didn't have a shirt because I ripped it off of me. I was so frustrated and angry. And all I had was a pair of blue jeans, and that's what they checked me into the Dallas County Jail wearing, a pair of blue jeans. Well, they stuck me in a cell, or not a cell, but a holding area with a bunch of other people who had been brought in, arrested. And I spent, I don't know, it seemed like it must have been at least 24 hours in there. And let me back up for just 1 second and say that at the time I got arrested, I hadn't had any food all day, didn't get any food that night. They carried me to Dallas County Jail. I didn't get any food all that day or all that night that I recall. I may have, but I don't remember it because I was so hungry. Finally, they started moving me through the process. Well, I was injured and I couldn't stand up and I couldn't walk. And I told them guards that, you know, directing the show, I said, listen, man, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my shoulders are hurting, I got beat up in Seagoville County Jail or Seagoville City Jail, and I can't walk. I need help. I need a wheelchair or something. Well, they didn't give me no wheelchair. No, sir. They started dragging me around. About 4 of them, taking me from place to place, from the cell I was incarcerated in to solitary, and they'd drag me, and when I couldn't keep up, and at one point I yanked away from them because it was hurting too bad to keep up. Well, they threw me on the floor and beat the hell out of me, knocked my false teeth out of my mouth. I can't wear them till this day, and that's been 4 years ago. And I've been sick man for the last 3 years until Christmas morning, when God touched me and said, son, let it go. You've done all you can do. It's time to just be happy and live for yourself. So that's what I'm fixing to do. In the morning, I'm going to get an appointment with a lawyer, and I'm going to start filing lawsuits on, Walmart, Seagoville, Texas, Dallas County Jail, Dallas County Sheriff's officers that transported me, I'm not going to say their names, but the 2 officers that came in my cell and kicked the living shit out of me in Seagoville, stomped me into the floor and fractured my spine and my neck and broke my left arm. And then I'm going to sue all the guards at Dallas County Jail who failed to provide me with my lawyer, provide me with medical attention, provide me with food, provide me with clothing, provide me with shoes. And they stuck me into a solitary psych ward where, according to them, I spent 21 days. But according to me, Dallas County Sheriff's officers took me to a location where I was taken up a flight of stairs to a platform on a box sitting in a parking lot, and there was a round portal in it, and I was forced to crawl through that portal. And when I did, I crawled down a long tunnel as far as I could go. And by the time I got to the end of it, I'd shredded whatever clothing I had because I was naked. And I was bleeding, my elbows, my knees, my toes. I was cut and bruised all over because I had several ass whippings. And I was 68 years old at the time, and I can bump up against something and it makes a big bruise. You can imagine the bruises and shit that was on my body. Well, anyway, make a long story short, I crawled down that tunnel as far as I could go. And there was no place to go. I couldn't go left, couldn't go right, couldn't back up, couldn't go forward. I was there and it was dark and it was cold. I was hungry and I was hurting. And I had no hope. No hope. And I said, this is it, Lord. I'm dead, man. I'm dying. Please, let me just cross over and be done with it. And you know what? The boys came to me and said, easy, son. I'm going to bring you home. And he took me to another dimension, man. He took me to what I perceived as heaven. And he showed me things so glorious that I took heart. I said, oh my God, how beautiful. Because in that heaven, there was a huge banquet table. And it was surrounded by multitude of people. They were everywhere, man. They were everybody I knew on this planet, everybody that was in my mind, and everybody that I'd ever heard of or read about in the history books, they were all there, represented. And at the welcome table was God and me, and on the other side of the table was John Wayne, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams Jr., Freddie Fender, Trini Lopez, Rock Hudson, Gregory Peck, Charlton Heston, David Allan Coe. No, I was David Allan Coe. Yeah, I had become David Allan Coe. But anyway, George Jones was there. Boxcar Willie was there. Merle Haggard was definitely there. He was in a very prominent table. And the ladies were there. I mean, there was Reba and Patsy. And, oh man, all of them, everybody in country music was there. There. And they were all at this huge table, banquet table. And then the table was surrounded by all of our descendants. My children were there. Willie's children were there. Hank's children were there. George's children were there, and Johnny Cash's children were there, and Waylon Jennings' children were there, and Johnny Hedden's children were there, and Waylon Hedden's children were there. They're my brothers by blood, and my father and mother were seated at the table, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, everybody I knew. And God, who was sitting in the center table, represented himself to me in the body of Hank Williams. Actually, God is no bigger than a flea. He does not have a physical body. He is an intelligence far beyond anything we can comprehend on this planet. What this planet is a holding area, a playground for alien intelligence. And what they do is they come and they get inside of our minds. Like I have a bug in my brain, and you have one in your brain. And all that happened to me that brought on everything I've just told you is that bug in my brain is the same bug that was in Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, that was hung on the cross, that had the disciples walking around with him. And he, walked on the water. He healed the sick and he raised the dead, according to the legend. And I'm going to tell you what, though. The alien that's in me right now told me he was just the man that I inhabited to start the legend, to give you your religion, so that you could pull this world out of the scattered religions that it's in. And all the inhabitants of the world, all they have to do to save this world is to believe in Jesus Christ. And that was my Father's wish, that they do it. And so he wrote this big, beautiful Bible. And he wrote the Quran. And he wrote the Buddhist, and he wrote the India, the Mahamagaya, whatever they call it. I forget. I mean, there's so much in my mind till I cannot recall every little detail and get every little word perfect. Sometimes I'm going to fuck up and say something like that, use a curse word. Or I might say nigger, or wop, or jap, or cunt, or bitch, or whore, or, all the things that we say to hurt one another. But I don't mean any of them. I love you all. That's why I'm going through what I'm going through to tell you this stuff. Because I am not magic. I'm a human being, people. I'm not the devil you think that I am. Ain't no excuse, but I'm just a man. Well, I slipped and I fell and it got out of hand. But I'm not the devil you think that I am. No, I'm not the devil you think that I am. Woo! How's that sound? Well, you don't have to believe anything I tell you other than the fact that I'm 72 years old. I've been in this house for over a year on account of COVID virus. In 2017, from May the 8th until January the 2nd of 2018, I was incarcerated 9 times. Twice in Dallas County Jail. Well, actually I was in the Seagoville City Jail overnight and then moved to Dallas County on one occasion, and the next occasion I was put in there and I stayed 3 days and bailed myself out. 3 days later I went shopping at Walmart and got sent back to Dallas County Jail because it was God's will. 3 weeks prior to that, I had got in an argument with a dispatcher of a police department over the telephone, and she pissed me off, and I went out on my front porch with a shotgun, preparing to defend myself from somebody that threatened me, and the police wouldn't come help me, and they sent a SWAT team to get me, and took me to Green Oaks Mental Hospital, where I stayed for a week, 5 days. I was released, came home, everything was fine, till my son called me on the phone and got me in an argument and made me so mad, I jerked my phone out of the wall and destroyed it. And I threatened my son up there, I'm gonna kill you. And about that time, my lights went out in my house. It went slam, it went dark. Well, when that happened, you ain't gonna believe this shit, but I had gone to the bank and took my money out of a safety deposit box, and I had it sitting on my dining room table where I was counting it, because I had to take it to the bank. I just bought 2 brand new Harley Davidsons and I had to pay for them. So I was gonna take this money to the bank. Well, when I got arrested, that money disappeared into the Dallas County property room, Dallas Police Department property room, and I've never recovered it. And so I'm pretty pissed off about that, and they're going to pay a price for that, because I'm going to file a lawsuit against Walmart, Dallas County Sheriff, DPD, Green Oaks Behavioral Clinic, DeSoto Behavioral Clinic, Sundance Behavioral Clinic. What was the other? UT Southwestern. No, that's not it. What is it? Well, I'll fill in the details later. But it's a nice one. It's a nice one. But it was also a mental evaluation. I was mentally evaluated 7 times. They also took away my weapons. I had 24 guns, a bow and arrow, a crossbow, a slingshot, you know. They took all that stuff out of my house along with my money, and they searched my house for drugs. They did not find any. I'm sure they just overlooked the pot I had in the icebox freezer, you know, but they didn't find no drugs or dope, or I'd still be in jail. But, make a long story short, while I was in jail, people came in and stole everything out of my house. So, you know, my daughter took my dog. That's enough. Suffice it to say that I ain't the ordinary dude walking up and down the street. So, if this is the last time you hear from me, research what I've just been telling you, and you'll find out that every goddamn thing I just told you is the truth. That I am the pack mule that brought Jesus into this world. He didn't come with trumpets. No, sir. He came like a thief in the night. He snuck in, he crawled in my ear, and occupied my mind, and he's still in there, and he won't turn me loose. Thus, I make this recording, and I do whatever I have to do to get your attention. I don't know how to be much plainer than that, other than to say that God gave me a message for this planet, and He gave me a message for the President, Donald J. Trump. And if anybody sees this, or anybody ever gets to hear it, please tell Donald J. Trump that he is my brother and my father, who is God, Hank Williams, if you will, gave me a message to give to him and his family, and I would like to speak to him at his earliest convenience. I'll even come over and visit him, you know. I'll go to him. He don't have to come to me, but I'd appreciate it if he'd come see me, because I don't want to go out and catch COVID. I've been secluded in my apartment for a year, and all this has been flying around in my brain this whole time, and I have to let it out. I can't conceal it anymore. I've tried and tried and tried to just shut up about it and move on with my life like everybody on the planet's told me to do. But you know what? Not anymore. I will never again deny the fact that my father put his arm around me and hugged me and called me his son, and my mother hugged me and called me his son. And my dying friend called me Christmas night and told me that my mother told her to tell me to be patient. Well, I've been waiting since Christmas, and my patience is wearing thin. So, I, from time to time, get on my telephone and talk to it, because I have no one else to talk to. Nobody will take my calls. Nobody will talk to me. Nobody will answer my questions. Nobody will listen to what I'm trying to say. Believe what you want to believe, people. But I'm not the devil you think I am. I slipped and I fell and it got out of hand. But I'm not the devil you think that I am. No, sir, I'm a ghost rider in the sky. And happy trails to you until we meet again. 'Cause it'll be in heaven when we meet again. Well, I've always been crazy, but it kept me from going insane. That's right. I have always been crazy. I have done drugs. I have done abandoned my children, abandoned my wife, been married 3 times, fornicated at the drop of a hat. I cheated on every woman I ever went with. I cheated on her and caused her to fall out of love with me. I never hurt my children unless they really, really provoked me into it. I did hurt my oldest girl one time. I smacked her upside the head because she run off with a black guy that she was working with, and had my brother sitting up on a hill with machine guns and hand grenades ready to rescue her, and she was in there smoking dope and getting high and screwing a black guy. So they went up to Pizza Inn there on Buckner and raised hell about it. Because I was out on the road in a truck, and then when I got in, I went up there and raised hell and got the whole story. And when I come home, everybody left the house, and there was my daughter sitting there. And she had to tell me the whole story. Well, I sat there and, just kind of shook my head. And I said, why, Sonny, why would you do that, girl? Why would you do that to me and to Mom and Daddy and everybody? Well, y'all ain't my boss. Well, son, I knocked that girl. I hit that girl. I did. I hit her upside the head, and she hates me for it today. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. But it's made me part of what I am today. She has an axe to grind against me, so when you ask her what happened, she'll tell you. My son has an axe to grind against me because he stole from me. My daughter has an axe to grind against me because she loves her brother, and I have been mean to him. Plus, sometimes I bug her because I get excited, and she's the only one I'll talk to anymore, and now I'm through talking to her. Because for the past week or so, she hadn't returned my calls, so I'm on my own again, and thus I make this recording. So that if I do happen to pop off and take one of my multiple weapons and go out and slaughter a whole senior citizens community where I live, and I love my neighbors and they love me, and we all sit here and mind our own business, but if I have to, I'll take my guns and my knives and go out and start cutting throats and shooting people in the head and robbing them and whatever I have to do to get your attention. I'd rather get it like this, just talking to you. See what I mean? Cause ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman. And I ain't cut out to be no Jesse James. Don't go riding hot chicks down in Mississippi. There ain't no good chain gang. And because you're mine, I walk the line. Lord, help me, Jesus. Oh, I've always been, and so help me, Jesus. I do what I am. Now that I know that I'm needed, you so help me, Jesus. My soul in your hand. Oh, why me, Lord? What have I ever done that is worth even one of the pleasure I've known? Try me, Lord. I always think there's no way I can try to fight all the times you've shown. That feels so good, so good. For 4 years, I couldn't do that because my shoulders, I was handcuffed, and the bitch cop picked me up by the handcuffs and broke my shoulders. And because I told her, if I see you out on the street, I'm going to get you. I got charged with retaliation and locked in the Seagoville City Jail there. And it had metal walls instead of bars. It was like made out of sheet metal or something. Well, I tried to talk to the officers because they took my glasses away when they took my boots and my belt. And I asked them, I said, why are you taking my boots and belt? It's cold, you know, or I don't have no, have you got some shoes I can have? Well, no. So they put me in there barefooted, in my sock, no belt. And I said, she said, well, those boots can be used as a weapon. I said, goddamn, ladies, these eyeglasses are a weapon. If I want to kill you, I can kill you with these eyeglasses. Well, she took my eyeglasses. I didn't get them back for 3 months. But that's another story. Anyway, I've got it off my chest now. I think I'm gonna have me a sip of whiskey, maybe a bong hit. I'm gonna watch some television, maybe Seinfeld or some good comedy so I can try to get my mind off all this stuff I've been talking about, because it's very hard to fall asleep at night with all this running around in your mind. I mean, you know, you can't fall asleep because you're worried about what time you gotta wake up. I don't have a schedule, friends. I'm retired. I'm 72 years old. I'm an old man. I've been disabled for a long time, and you know, I'm even more disabled now, but I'm trying to pull out of it. I'm trying to, you know, work on myself without the aid of any kind of medications or any so-called psychiatrist, or so-called therapist, or so-called professional help, except for one thing. I need a fucking lawyer. And nobody will take my case. So, that's my dilemma. If you know of a fucking lawyer with a pair of balls as big as mine that don't mind taking on the system, tell him to give me a call. If you happen to know the phone number for me to talk to my brother, Donald Trump, and tell him that God has forgiven anything he might have done, because what he's done for this country is what God put him on this planet to do, just like what I do, I have been put here to do. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them bastards in Congress, National Guard, take those rifles, turn around and point them at the Capitol and hold those people hostage until my father gets here, because he is on his way, and the end of this planet is going to come if we don't get it straightened out before he gets here. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Good night, friends. I love you all. I hope you will accept this in the manner I meant to give it to you, and that's with love and harmony, and I wish ill will to no man. But by the same token, while I'm Jesus Christ, I'm also Satan. Because when my fathers and my brothers get here, I'm Satan. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to say, these motherfuckers, ain't none of them worthy. Because not a one has listened to me. Not a one has tried to listen. They've all just, as soon as I mention Jesus, that's it. That old son of a bitch is crazy. Better leave him alone, or better lock him up, or better take his guns, or better, oh yeah, here's another deal. After being in jail twice, in the mental hospital 7 times in 7 months, they took all my property. Drugged me, beat me, froze me, starved me, kept me against my will, 9 separate occasions in 7 months. I came out with a Class A misdemeanor. My only penalty is I can't get a permit to carry a gun, so I can't defend myself with other than my fist and my hands and my mind. So I work out and I try to get back in shape. Took 4 years to get back into healthy enough to where I can, and that had occurred Christmas morning. So, get, baby. I am, possessed, with a spirit that was in Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, and He lives inside you also. He lives within your heart. He's the little voice you hear saying, don't do that. That's evil. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. He is, your voice, your inner voice, the one that tells you the difference between right and wrong. Well, that's Jesus. And that's the one that's in me right now. And He's telling me to forgive all of y'all and just be happy, and that's what I'm going to do. And anybody that tries to prevent it is going to see the other side of me, because I'm fucking Satan, I'm Lucifer, and I will kill you. I will kill your children. I will mangle your mother and father. I will kill your president. I will kill your king. I will kill your queen. I will kill your first lady. I will kill your vice president and her first man. Yeah, I'll kill everybody. I'll blow up Congress. I'll take on the whole fucking army and all their missiles and nukes, and I'll defeat you all, because God and my brothers is coming to do the killing. And they are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, my brothers. Johnny, David, Richard, Waylon, my brothers. Johnny Hedden, Waylon Hedden, Richard Wells, David Wells. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and you better research them if you don't know who they are. Forgive me, folks. Sometimes I get a little carried away. That's what causes most of my problems. I'll be honest with you. That's why I say I brought all this on myself. I asked for it, and you get what you ask for. That's a fact of life in this world, man. You're going to get what you ask for. Just like you're going to get what you ask for, my brother. Because I forget nothing. I know where you live, Wine. I know where you live, Joyce. I know where you live, Eric. I know where you live, Sonny. I know you peckerheads over there in Hazel. I know where you live. God won't let me do nothing, He tells me forgive and forget. But when the horsemen get here, you're first on the list. And your suffering will begin when they get here. And it won't end until, it'll never end. Unless you get right. Unless you make up for the wrong you did and please me, then I will destroy you and all that you love. I will destroy it all. And it won't bother me one bit. It will be fucking delicious. I will lick my chops. I will suck your blood off my fingertips. I will lick your blood. I will smear myself in blood. I will slash open my body and take the blood and spread it over my body and come to your door and bang on your door and say, I'm here, motherfucker, now what? Yeah, and then what are you going to do? You going to kill me? Then you'll be in the penitentiary, motherfucker, not me. You'll be where I was. So you best bring me what you stole. That's all I want. What you stole. If I don't get it back, then you will burn in hell. Period. That's it. Ain't no two ways about it, children. I can go file lawsuits. I can go, I come over to your house and beat you up and try to get my money. And believe me, I can beat you up. You don't think I can, but I've got a power inside me. You better know I do. And he can beat any of you up. Maybe not one of them martial artists, a cage fighter, but I'd give him a good go. I'd hold my own at 72 years old, so fuck you, buddy. I don't give a goddamn if you black, white, brown, yellow, red, does not matter. I fear no man. I'm doing God's will. I've been to the mountaintop. And I've seen the promised land. And I'm telling you that it's theirs. And we're all going there if we all learn to just get along. Black man, forgive the white man because he called you a nigger. White man, forgive the black man because he called you a honky cracker motherfucker. Brown man, forgive us all because we called you a Migo and wetback. Chinaman, forgive us all because we called you a king and did like this. You know, woman, forgive us all because we called you a cunt, because you are. When you make us mad enough to call you a cunt, it's because you're being a fucking cunt. So remember that. And if you've been sexually harassed, ugly up, bitch. Ain't nobody want to harass no ugly, stinking hoe. You get all dialed up when you go to work. Well, it's hard for folks not to pay attention and notice you. But for a man to have to give up his whole career and his life because some woman said, well, he touched my butt. He touched my booty. He said something nasty to me. Well, fuck you, girl. You want to be equal? Shut the fuck up. Do your fucking job. Make your baby. Please your man. Cook supper. And shut up. Anybody molest you, they'll be dealt with by us good folks that don't tolerate that bullshit. But you're not going to drag us through court and, ruin our lives and destroy our families and turn us into, look at Harvey Weinstein. If them little movie stars didn't want to get screwed, they wouldn't have went up to his goddamn house to get their part. And now that man's rotting in prison. Same thing with Jeffrey Epstein. He might have loved them young girls, but by God, if they didn't want to get screwed, they wouldn't have been up there in his place, taking his money. Flying around the world, screwing the Prince of England, King of England or whatever. And Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton screwed a bunch of them, so fuck Bill Clinton. And fuck Hillary. And fuck Bernie. And fuck Kamala. And fuck Joe. And fuck you if you voted for them. This is a white man's world. It will remain so. And the sooner y'all learn to live with that, then the sooner you might get to go to heaven with me. Because I don't hate nobody calls her skin color. But God's white. I hate to tell you this, folks. God's white. Or at least he was to me. And he loves country music. He wrote all the country music songs, and that's why all them country music stars are his children that he sent, so that they could sing them songs to us and turn us into the cowboys that we are, with a good heart, and we love our women, pet our dogs, love to spit beats, nothing that dude's eyes, and shoot him with more 45, country boy can survive. Yes, sir. Hank wrote that song for his son to sing. Okay? I guess I'm getting carried away again. I thought I was through, but evidently I'm not. Evidently he won't let me yet. So, I'll tell you when it's the end. When he gets here, the end. Oh, well, hold on a minute. Let me take a break. I'm getting lonely for all the pain I've got a big very back of my mind. Alone I'm lost, no I'm not surviving situation. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels so good, Lord. Thank you so much, Lord. Thank you for healing my shoulders. Oh. Thank you, Lord. Whew. That's enough. I'm done. Talk to you tomorrow.